Welcome to Module 5. This is like the crux of the whole thing. We're going to start talking about problem solving, and we're going to start integrating pieces of your project starting right away. I'm going to teach something called the C4 process, which is a process I wrote a book about back in 2010, and I've been teaching pretty consistently for a good long time. I teach it because it works. I think you'll like it. So our key objectives for this module: we get to explain the different ways that problems are going to surface in a workplace. We're going to compare different types of problem-solving processes. We're going to choose an appropriate problem-solving tool to apply to a particular situation. We're going to be able to write better problem statements. We're going to be able to calculate the cost impact of a problem. And we're going to speed up problem solving. And some of the ways we're going to speed up problem solving include seeing problems more quickly and what systems you can put in place to do that. Teaching problem-solving skills to people more consistently. Determining more accurate and actionable root causes. Building more creativity into your workforce. And reducing bias and increasing certainty in your decisions. That's a pretty tall order. By the way, that's about as much animation as I'm going to be able to work into this. I've been pretty pressed for time. So here's our module sequence. We're going to cover this in 4 separate parts, but there'll be smaller videos in between, so we don't spend too much time staring at one video screen. First, we got context for problem solving, then just the overview of problem solving in general. Then I'll introduce you to the C4 process, which is 11 steps and 4 phases. The 4 phases are concern, cause, countermeasure, and confirm. And finally, we'll wrap up with the C4 card system, which is a system to engage employees. Let's get into part 1. Why is problem solving such an important skill? Have you ever experienced the same problem over and over at work or at home? Have you ever had a team that was working on a problem that got so hung up that they couldn't make any progress on solving it? Have you ever gotten to the end of a fishbone diagram activity and still wondered what the root cause was? One of my favorites. Have you ever had a solution that you were trying to find a problem for? These are just a few of the problems that people have with problem solving, and all of them slow us down. So we've got to address each one of those if we're going to speed things up a little bit. But the important thing to remember is we really have to develop our collective intellect, because I think that's the only sustainable competitive advantage that anybody can have for a very uncertain future. One way to look at this is that collective intellect is the only way out of the worm pit that we talked about in Module 4. If you take a look at the World Economic Forum's top 10 skills for 2025, 5 of the top 10 skills are all problem-solving related skills. If we're not preparing our people now for those coming years, we're going to be way behind the curve. So it's not just a matter of you and leaders learning how to solve problems. It's you and leaders understanding how to coach and teach problem solving to everyone in the workforce so we can really take advantage of that skill. People learn in a very deliberate way. At lower levels of learning, it's very linear. You remember things first, then you understand them a little bit more, then you can take them out and you can go apply them. But problem solving is non-linear. We have 3 stages of learning in that. We learn how to evaluate or analyze, we learn how to create, and then we learn how to evaluate. And it depends on the theorist that you're talking to, whether creation is the highest level of learning or whether evaluating what you've created is the highest level of learning. Regardless, we need to teach people deliberately how to analyze things, which is simply breaking things down and understanding how each of the parts contributes, and how to create solutions and generate more creativity in those solutions. And because we want more creativity and we want more options, we want to learn how to evaluate those different options so we can always choose the most effective or the solution that is most likely to yield the best result. And these are the skills we're after. We're after critical thinking, quantitative analysis, creativity as a skill, planning and organizing, execution, and evaluation. We're going to get into a little bit more in the next video.